Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF, bringing you episode 1 of something that's going to be a little bit different than what I usually play here on the channel. Honestly, I haven't really been getting into too much lately. Yes, there's a lot of content on my channel currently, but in terms of like in real life timing, I haven't been recording all that much. And it's not for lack of games. I definitely have some cool games to play, and today we're going to be showing one of them. And I'm thinking, hopefully this gets me back into maybe a longer playthrough rather than, a shorter one that's just a few episodes. Maybe we can take this quite a ways, quite a longer distance is what I'm thinking, but something I've been interested in for quite a while. This is a game that is a strategy 4X / real-time combat game, like a Total War game, basically. And that's what we're going to be playing. It is fantasy lore, and it's got tons of races. I have some mods enabled, and if you want to see what those mods are, you can look in the description of this video. I will link them. It's all stuff that supports the Immortal Empires campaign, which is like the big free-for-all campaign that has all the features. And what I really like about this game, and we'll get into more as we play, is the fact that there's many different like unique elements to each race that you play as. Like they all have different ways of making their money, different ways of building an army and stuff like that. So it's all very cool. So enough yapping. This is going to be episode 1, guys, of Let's Try Total War Warhammer 3. Bong bong. So I hope this works. Mashallah. I haven't tested recording the game, but it should be okay. Look at the mod manager. Just to show you guys what mods we'll be using. Some of these won't actually be active, but I have them downloaded anyway, like the Old World campaign. We're not going to be playing that, but I still have it in my files. The Mixer, Mixu's Unlocker, Immortal Empires Expanded. That's what we're going to be playing. 15 new factions for IEE, Landmarks of Eternity, Immortal Empire Expanded Edition, and the mod configuration tool, and that is all of them. They're all activated, so we're going to hit play and get it in, guys. Let's see how it goes. I'm like completely new to this game and this series in general, so it's going to be new for me. I did play a little bit off camera, but not much at all. Basically the starter battle, like of a certain faction that I picked, and then just stopped there and said, okay, let's go ahead and record this. And it is a bit slow to load on my system. I apologize in advance. I want to read that. I have it on an SSD, but I guess it's just such a massive game that it's a bit of a slow loader. We'll see how it goes. Warhammer. Very cool lore and stuff. It's all really high fantasy, interesting stuff. And we'll see the intro video here.
It reveals the secrets of the past, the present, and what may come to be. Most would think me fortunate to own such a book, but I can only use it in service to others. That is my curse. It wakes, tormenting me once more, feeding on the mysteries of this world, unraveling them into opportunity. But opportunity for whom?
Somewhere in the Chaos Wastes. A big explosion, apparently. And that's where we pick up at. Alright, so here we are. Warhammer 3. I hope this is recording okay. So let's start with options. Blood effects, running window. That should be up to there. Quality I have on custom, otherwise it's ultra. Let's see. Apply the changes. So it's a bit of a slow loader. Let's hit advanced. UI scale. Probably should scale it up a little bit higher. What does that say? Default can lead to display issues with text tooltips and panels. Alright, well, let's leave it at 160 then. Corpses will be permanent. Screen space reflections will turn on. Depth of field. Keep that off. Everything else is maxed out, I think. VSync, unlimited video memory, sure. It's all good. So we'll apply that. Should be good to go. And then we have the sound. High quality audio, stereo speakers. Switch that to stereo headphones. Oh, must restart the game. Forget it then. Controls. Mouse scroll. Camera shake. Classic Total War camera. We'll get into that more as we go. I'm sure we'll be setting some of that differently. Advice frequency is high. Let's clear the history of that so we get fresh advice from the start. Main UI theme, cursor size, auto sticky tooltips. Can be used at any time with the stick tooltip keyboard shortcut. Pin to element. Highlight auto units. Spacebar options on toggle. The spacebar will toggle the interface settings. No, slow motion ability targeting. Default drag out formation. Alliance coloring. Units in battle will be colored based on alliance to player instead of by faction. No. Projectile trails. Default skirmish mode. Default run. Default guard mode. I don't know what some of these mean, but they seem to be okay. Enable context viewer. No. Alright, so that's all the options. Let's head right to the campaign. And hit new. So there's the Lost God campaign, which provides a prologue to the realm of chaos, offering an experience intended for brand new players and those in need of a refresher to the mechanics of Total War Warhammer. There's the realm of chaos, which provides unique story-driven experiences in a focused setting within the Warhammer world. Then there's the Immortal Empires Expanded. This is what we'll be playing. It's an even more vaster sandbox campaign encompassing the actual entire Warhammer world, with even opener-ended objectives that provide the even more ultimater Total War Warhammer experience. In the old world, it's just a campaign. I have a modded campaign. It's a vast sandbox campaign encompassing the lands of the Empire, Norsca, Albion, Badlands, Darklands, the Arabian coast, and more, with open-ended objectives that provide a fine Total War Warhammer experience. Sounds very cool. We're going to be playing Immortal Empires Expanded. So, yeah, it's normally just Immortal Empires, but the expanded part is the mod. And what this means by actual entire Warhammer world, all the areas of the map in the original game that were not used have been filled in with their proper counterparts, their proper factions and stuff. So the entire map is used, which is, I think, is very cool. All right, so our big choice here is who we're going to play as. Just to show you guys a little bit, we've got the Beastmen. Deep within the dark, twisted forests of the old world range the Beastmen, a race of savage mutants that bear various traits of bestial appearance. Bretonia is a feudal society split between the rich nobles and their gallant knights and the lowly peasant class toiling in the fields. Chaos Dwarves. Malign, dark-souled, and merciless, Chaos Dwarves are known in legend as a warrior race of demon smiths, craftsmen, and brutal killers who have dominated the northern reaches of the Darklands for thousands of years. Demons of Chaos. Manipulated into a horrifying act by another, the Ungol Prince has given himself up entirely in exchange for the ruinous blessings of all the Chaos Gods and ascendancy to demonhood. Pretty wild stuff. Got the Dark Elves, or the Druchi, in their own tongue, are one of the most ancient, powerful, and certainly the most sadistic of the three elven civilizations. Good old dwarves, a proud, bearded folk who are quick to temper, often defined by a love of gems, gold, and other precious metals. The Empire. Lying at the heart of the old world, the Empire is the greatest and most powerful of all the kingdoms forged by men. Grand Cathay. Past the mountains of Morn and the steppes beyond lies the fabled Empire of Cathay. Travelers returning from the eastern reaches tell tales of jade cities and golden pagodas. The Greenskins. Orcs and goblins are the scourge of the old world. Orcs are built for violence. Goblins, by contrast, are smaller but more cunning. Then we have High Elves, or the Asur, as they call themselves, are one of the most ancient and powerful civilizations of the old world. The Khorne, or the Khorna, the blood god, rages upon his brass throne, resting atop a mountain of skulls built from the countless heads of the great champions his followers have slain over an immeasurable number of eons. The Kislev, the Tsardom of Kislev, known as the realm of the Ice Queen, is the most northerly civilization within the old world, a powerful and war-driven country. Lizardmen, not to be confused with beastmen or greenskins, are an ancient race of cold-blooded reptilians, said to be the first and oldest civilization. Alien, enigmatic, and entirely without mercy, the Lizardmen were there at the start of all things and will be there when the world draws its last dying breath, never tiring nor relenting until order is finally restored to this uncaring, chaotic world. The Norska, warlike and cruel, the Norskan tribes of the icy north are savage, fur-clad warriors who have sworn allegiance to the ruinous powers with unquestioning fervor. The Nurgle, also known as the Plague Lord, is the chaos god of disease, decay, death, and degradation. So you can play as those peeps, which are crazy. Ogre kingdoms. Ogres are a race of large humanoids, tough, vicious, and always hungry. Semi-nomadic in nature, wandering ogre tribes can be found wrecking their way across the known world. Yet no matter how far away they may be, all ogres consider the scattered tribal kingdoms that dominate the slopes and river valleys of the mountains of Morn to be their rightful hard-earned homeland. And then we have the Skaven, are a cunning and diabolical race of scuttering humanoid rat creatures that have spread their loathsome corruption to the farthest corners of the world. The Slaanesh is dedicated to the pursuit of excess, gratification, hedonism, pain, and immoral pleasure at the expense of any other soul. Pretty wild peeps. Tomb Kings. Nehekara once stood as a shining beacon of civilization and human achievement, but this great realm was destroyed through acts of great treachery and powerful sorcery. The living of Nehekara perished in a single mournful night, and in their absence the dead stirred from their graves and claimed the land anew. The Tzentek, or Tzinch, the changer of ways, is the chaos god of magic, evolution, manipulation, and trickery. He is Flux incarnate, the god who truly embodies the endless broiling change that is chaos. Tzintek. Vampire Coast, the origin of the undead pirates said to ravage the coasts of Lustria are steeped in mystery. Legend has it that a Norskan longship took on a precious cargo during a raid, an ancient coffin containing, unbeknownst to the crew, the vampire Luther Harkin. When the vessel floundered off the volcanic islands, the drowned crew were raised as zombies through the vampire's dark magic. Then we have vampire counts. Long ago, Queen Neferata stole the secrets of eternal life from Nagash. The elixir she created was flawed, bestowing immortality but at a great cost, and so the vampires were created and they have been a plague upon the living ever since. Warriors of Chaos. Chaos warriors are mortals who have left their natural way of life and chosen to dedicate themselves to a chaos god in order to gain their favor, with the ultimate goal of demonhood and eternal life. And the Wood Elves, or Azrai, are the guardians of Ethel Lauren, the most ancient forest in the old world. They're a reclusive and mysterious race who rarely emerge from the forest and are generally only seen when coming to its defense. So we have 24 different factions here, or races I should say, and within them many factions as well. So I don't know who we're going to play as. These ones with this marking are recommended for the first campaign: the Empire, the High Elves, or Grand Cathay. I think Cathay sounds pretty cool. If we click them,
Supreme master of the storm.
And that's Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon. We could be her. But let's actually go back to the race thing. Grand Cathay, if we look at what they offer, balance both yin and yang to achieve harmony, which will confer powerful effects across the provinces whilst directing the Wuxing compass to defend Cathay from threats north of the Great Bastion. Cathay offers solid melee units and powerful missile units, which become stronger through harmony when placed near each other. Characters increase the effect of this harmony. Additionally, their spellcasters can support each other during spellcasting, increasing the power of their spells when fielding multiple wizards. So that's pretty cool. Past the mountains of Morn and the steppes beyond lies the fabled empire of Cathay. Travelers returning from the eastern reaches tell tales of jade cities and golden pagodas. They recount strange creatures from serpentine dragons to monolithic stone sentinels and flying sky junks that rain multi-hued firepower from up above. But most of all, they tell of the imposing and disciplined armies that march forth in defense of their kingdom, the thousands of devoted foot soldiers unswerving in their loyalty and unrivaled in their the harmonics of war, that their armies face northwards to garrison the Great Bastion and defend it against the ruinous powers is perhaps a blessing, for should the Celestial Dragon Emperor have to turn his legions toward the nations of the West, the threat to all that may be unleashed does not bear thinking about. So they're pretty cool. But then we have the High Elves. I like High Elves. They gain influence to recruit superior lords or manipulate diplomacy between factions. High Elves access improved outposts and allegiance point gain through alliances. The armies of the High Elves field the most powerful dragons and some of the most powerful magic users. In addition, the rest of their roster is well-rounded and of high quality. These elite units benefit from the martial prowess ability, providing bonuses to units which are at high strength. And we'll get into all these mechanics and everything as we go. The High Elves, or the Asur as they call themselves, are one of the most ancient and powerful civilizations of the old world. Hailing from a mighty mist-shrouded island continent located at the center of the Great Ocean, the High Elves of Ultuan are a proud and mighty kingdom of masterful warriors, peerless mages, and lords of sky and sea. At the zenith of their power, the world was truly theirs for the taking, but in their arrogance they brought about a bloody war against the dwarfs, which crippled both of these two elder races. The time of the High Elves has passed, yet such is their immense pride that they fight on regardless, for they consider themselves the true and rightful protectors of the known world. Let the servants of destruction beware the Asur's righteous wrath. So they're pretty cool. There's a lot of cool ones. I mean, even being evil would be so cool to be like the Tomb Kings, stuff like that. The Kislev are interesting. Serve the motherland by training formidable frost maidens and ice witches within the ice court, granting powerful traits. Factions amass supporters from Kislev's two main sects based on their alignment, gaining boons that can be spent on powerful permanent upgrades. Kislevite forces offer hardy hybrid infantry, swift cavalry, and mighty warbears, perfect for hammer and anvil tactics. Its units have the ability to find new courage where others would break, allowing the units to stand their ground against desperate odds. And the Tsardom of Kislev, known as the Realm of the Ice Queen, is the most northerly civilization within the Old World, a powerful and war-driven country. The inhabitants of Kislev are wolf-tough and self-reliant warriors, valiant and determined in the defense of their motherland, for they are the bulwark against the horrors of the north. Since its founding, Kislev has been under constant assault by the hordes of chaos. Countless generations of Kislevites have fought and died in the snowy tundra of those harsh northern oblasts. And it's thanks to these brave Kislevite warriors that mankind has managed to flourish in the south, huddled together in their warm, safe homes, whilst the sons and daughters of Kislev fight on until they draw their dying breaths. Then you have just insane ones like Nurgle. He's perhaps the oldest of his brother gods, for the process of decay began with his life. Yeah, they have some pretty wild stuff. Concoct and spread plagues across the world or afflict your own assets. Nurglish settlements will grow by themselves over time and will eventually wither and die out. There's many more evil ones than there are good ones, it seems. Or maybe I'm just not seeing it correctly. Greenskins. Orcs and goblins, we don't want to be them. Dwarfs are interesting. Grudges must be settled by any and all means necessary to keep order across the realms. Dwarf armies can use the underway to avoid impassable terrain and enemy forces. The dwarves rely on steadfast, heavily armored infantry supported by powerful artillery and missile units. Completely lacking in cavalry, their only mobile units are the harassing gyrocopter war machines. Though lacking access to spells, the dwarves are innately resistant to spell damage. I don't even want to read past there. I don't want to be lacking spells. Bretonia is interesting. Perform chivalrous acts to grant powerful boons and call upon the strength of the Green Knight. Follow a code of honor and pledge lords and heroes to partake in troths and vows. Manage the peasant population's tenure between farms and armies to ensure the economy remains strong. Bretonia specializes in riding down their foes with powerful heavy cavalry, supported by copious amounts of expendable peasant infantry and archers. These units buy time and space for their mounted knights to charge, fall back, and charge once more. So they're interesting. Bretonia is a feudal society split between the rich nobles with their gallant knights and the lowly peasant class toiling in the fields. The Knights of Bretonia, the flower of its military, have a code of chivalry that forms an unbreakable duty to protect its subjects, and when called to war are considered by many to be the most powerful heavy cavalry in the old world. However, a Bretonian army rarely consists of knights alone, and so ranks of solid, if unremarkable, foot troops and peasant levies are provided to soak up damage from unchivalrous cannons and other ranged devices. So it is in times of need, the Knights of Bretonia ride forth with lances dipped and a prayer to the lady on their lips. I think we're going to be Grand Cathay, though. This is who I played a little bit with off camera, and I got a little bit of a feeling for. And if we go with Grand Cathay, we could be
daughter of the Celestial Emperor.
Miao Ying, and the different factions here have these are faction leaders, I think. And they have different starting armies. They get different effects, different lord effects. You can even check the unit and spell browser to see what all they get, and you know, there's a lot going on here, guys. Very cool. A lot of spells and stuff. We'll get into that more, but let's see who else there is. There's Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, the Western Provinces.
Of dragons.
Check his intro. Pretty cool. The Iron Dragon spreads his power in Western Cathay, striking out from Qiang to head off belligerent dissenters and emboldened enemies. And then we have Yuan Bo, the Jade Dragon, the Jade Court.
Master of celestial sorcerers. Head of imperial bureaucracy.
Yuan Bo, administrator of the realm, uses his formidable magic and vast information network to salvage an expedition in Lustria. We can even check on the map where this takes place at. The only thing about this map is understand how to like see the other ones in relation to where they're at. The Jade Core, then it doesn't tell you about anything around them. Unless I'm not using the map right. It does have like there's no other button works on this map. Could have been better, I feel. Then there's lore as well for the lords. And this lord gets faction effects. All regions owned by factions that you have trade agreements with are visible. Diplomatic relations plus 20 with Grand Cathay. Research rate plus 5 for each province capital. Hero capacity plus 2 for astromancers, which must be what Yuan Bo is. The Lord effects, upkeep minus 30% for Onyx Crowman, Celestial Lion, Great Moonbird, Jade Lion, and Jet Lion units of the Lord's army, and Winds of Magic power reserve capacity plus 25. I'm not sure exactly what any of that means, but it is interesting. He starts with Jade Warriors, Great Longma Riders, and we can click these units individually. Onyx Crowmen, which we just heard about, they're very fast. Vanguard deployment. Peasant Long Spearmen. Jade Lions, their stats look pretty high. Armor piercing melee, no forest penalty. Harmony is Yang, monstrous beasts. Check out the Jade Lions. Oh, we can't click them here and check them out. And Peasant Archers. So obviously this is a really important decision you make.
Dragon Lord of the Iron Wind.
This is pretty cool. Faction effects. Maximum caravan cargo capacity plus 20%. Melee attack and melee defense plus 10 for Ogre Mercenary units. So if we hire Ogre Mercenaries, they get a boost. Hero recruit rank plus 5 for Alchemists. Upkeep minus 25% for Ogre Mercenary units, and armor plus 15 for melee units. The Lord effects, maximum number of active caravans plus 1. Upkeep minus 25% for melee units in the Lord's army. Magic item drop chance from battles plus 100%. That is pretty wicked. So I think we will go with Zhao Ming.
Master of
Celestial Dragon Guard. Have very high leadership and good armor. Their armor piercing anti-large units and charge defense against all. Okay, so if we right click, we can bring up their cards a little bit here. When standing and bracing against a charge, this unit will negate the enemy's charge bonus. Unit tier, I guess, is 3 or 2. You can see the various stats. They can hide in the forest and the different things they're capable of. So we start with them. We also have Peasant Long Spearmen, Jade Warriors, armored and shielded, Peasant Archers who are expendable, Jade Warrior Crossbowmen, they're armored, have a great range of 160, which is like long range enables you to hit enemies from a distance, but weapons are still more accurate at shorter ranges. And their Yin, defensive stance to resist charges. Enabled if not moving. Anytime they're not moving, they get that charge resistance. And what were they? They were the Jade Warrior crossbows. Then we have Fire Rain Rocket Battery. These things, look at that range, 400, 560 missile strength. This unit has a 75% damage multiplier against buildings, 20-second reload time. Base missile damage 63, that seems pretty high. 7 shots per volley. Damage value shown is damage over 10 seconds, and they're a siege attacker. They can attack city gates, allowing you to instantly launch a siege battle without having to wait for towers or battering rams to be built. And their Yin, Battle Harmony. So let's see what that's about. If a Yang unit nearby activates within 60 meters of a Yang unit, effect intensity increases by highest nearby harmony multiplier on a unit. There must be balance in all things, dark and light, moon and sun, female and male. So they would get speed plus 4% up to 8%, reload skill plus 12 up to 24, and leadership plus 4 up to 8. It's interesting stuff, but I think we will be this character, Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon. And I think we're ready to go. But before that, I don't know if we're going to jump into the campaign this episode. I wanted to show you guys some more of these crazy peeps. Like, look at Nurgle. Oh, dang, son. Can you imagine the smell? But creating plagues and stuff, and they start with different creatures altogether. Death's Heads, Plague Drones of Nurgle. There's different lords of this race. Epidemius.
The honor of carrying the grandfather's boxes is mine.
Wow. And the game changes so much depending on who you are. It's really cool.
Alfwan will be mine.
Nagarond. Bunch of different Dark Elves. Lokir Fellheart.
Commander of the Blessed Dread.
Very cool. What was this one though?
I will have my vengeance.
Did some dragon come out or something? I didn't get to... Oh, Hydra. Pretty wild. Does he start with Hydras, Dark Shards, Cold One Chariots, Dread Spears, Bleak Swords, and Blackguard of Nagarond? Wow. 100 armor. But yeah, it's pretty cool just going through these and seeing like the different
Does not serve.
units and stuff. But we do want to play as Grand Cathay, so we'll start the campaign officially. Let's see how long we've been playing. 31 minutes, so we're just going to wrap it up here, and I'll jump right into the campaign next time. We can look at some more.
The Liber Mortis reveals all.
He must be added by a mod because he doesn't have a special little intro movie there. Archon the Black.
I'm the Lich King.
The Lich King. Wow. So some very powerful peeps.
Power shall heal my mind.
Luther Harkon. Vampiric Corruption.
I shall submerge both one.
Celestra. Direfin the Drowned. Has washed ashore at the Twisted Glade in Nagaroth, seeking out new audiences for her siren song. Enables magical attacks. So, a lot of different ways to play the game for show. It's going to be very cool. I like that one.
Over tyrant and
Wow. Greasus the shockingly obese has been sleeping off his recent feasting in the Great Hall in the Mountains of Morn and now sets out to dominate other ogres of the region. So, enabling special campaign actions, as access to Tyrant's demands. So anyway, we'll start this next episode as Grand Cathay, Zhao Ming. He's got a lot going on.
Of dragons.
So, I want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this quick episode here, just showing some things off about the game and what to expect. Like, it's going to be pretty wild if we really get into this. I'm hoping to. No real guarantees for a longer LP or whatever, or LT, because I just haven't been able to connect that way lately. I did a really long Pillars of Eternity playthrough, and since then I've kind of just been nibbling a bit here and there, not really diving too deeply. So we'll see though. This is definitely one to dive deep into. It's got all the makings of a really awesome game. So hope you're excited for this and you'll tune in next time. If you are excited, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you want to be a huge help to me on my channel here, guys, you can become a member. Info and links are in the description. And shout out to my 2 members. Love you guys. Holding it down. The membership form or whatnot. And I'll see y'all next time, guys. Well, like I said, we'll jump right in. We'll hit start campaign and go from there. So until next time, guys, be well, live well, stay well. Much love, peace, and joy. Don't go anywhere. We're going to play some Warhammer Total War, Warhammer 3. All right, see you guys then. Ciao for now.